Hi, my name is April, and I was diagnosed with stage 2 estrogen-positive breast cancer in 2018. My breast cancer became undetectable 2 months into my chemotherapy. So, my first 2 months of chemotherapy was with the AC, and then I was to do and did do the next 2 months of chemotherapy with the Taxol. And you might be asking, okay, so if your cancer was undetectable 2 months into your chemo, why keep doing the chemotherapy treatment? And I was asking actually my oncologist the same thing. I'm like, hey, it's gone. They can't find it in the scans. When they did the ultrasound to try and find the tumors next to the little markers that they put in there, they couldn't find it anywhere. So I was thinking, oh, I'm done. I don't have to do any more chemo. I'm not going to do the chemo. I'm not going to do the surgery, and I am not doing the radiation. Well, they had other things to say about that. And my cancer team was awesome. They never pushed me to do anything or judged me. But one of the things he said was, just remember, April, one of the reasons why we're doing the chemo is to kill any cancer cells that may have been released outside of the original location. And he's like, so I really do encourage you to go ahead, do the next 4 rounds of chemo of the Taxol, and then let's take a look and see how you're doing. I'm like, that makes sense. If I'm gonna I was already hairless, right? So I'm like, I will go ahead and finish up the chemotherapy. So at the end of that, of all my chemo, I was supposed to do the surgery next. And I remember meeting with my surgeon and telling her, you know what, I don't think I need the surgery. I think I'll be okay now. All the cancer is undetectable. No one can find it. It's not showing up on the ultrasound or any of the scans. I don't want to do the surgery. And she said, well, April, actually, even when cancer disappears, it can leave behind scar tissue. And she was like, I really want to get that out of you. So, you don't have to do it. They weren't going to force me. But she was like, it's a good idea to get that scar tissue out. And let's go ahead and check some of your lymph nodes to make sure they're okay. That made sense too. So I went ahead and I did the surgery. So from there, I was resistant to the radiation as well. I was like, oh, I just didn't want to deal with burns. And I was so over the whole cancer treatment. And, but my radiation oncologist was amazing. And he was like, we're going to do the 3 weeks. You're going to be fine. Let's just make sure, because out of all of the treatments that you have, he was like, it's not going to be that bad, I promise. And I was like, okay, I forget his name, doctor. We'll see about that. And I was able to sail through the radiation therapy without any burns at all, which was fantastic. I remember my radiation oncologist. He would, instead of making me go from the radiation room after treatment and go to an exam room and wait for him, and because I was doing it on my lunch break, so I would go back to work when I was done with radiation. He would come into where they were doing, when they were done with the radiation, he would just come in, check me up, no burns again, and then he would, kind of check me off the list, because I guess they have to see you after that every time. It's the rule. So he would come in and see me, but he would let me skip that kind of extra 30 minutes that it would take for me to actually meet with him in the room so that he could check me out. So I just wanted to share my story. I know it's like we all have the same journey, but a different journey. We all have our unique things that happen to us during our breast cancer treatment, and things that are, the same. We can share the same experiences that we had too. But if there's anything that was unique in your cancer journey, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear it.